you're going to be happy. And when you're ready to sell your home.
Hello, 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 everybody. We got a big lineup again. I hope I have enough energy.
I don't know why you reported that you did.
Okay. So, everybody I know is at work, and I hope they get to listen today. Because we got a Mel came. I saw something last night, and she came out with a 2 hour again with that lady. I think it's a new one. I'm pretty sure because it said May 11th or May 12th. And I got JJ's video I want to share too. I got the X2 report. I just found a few other ones that were short ones too. Going to be a marathon today. Like what Flying Eagle was telling me, when everything comes out, that means we got to be getting there. There's so much intel. I want to try my best to get everything out. Ante, you're the first one. You get a purple or a gold star. What color do you want? A silver star. I don't know. I think Kay already is. I think someone already got that position. We were Andrew were talking about the weather. It is cold again, and it's middle of May. Well, almost the first of the new year. I don't know where everybody's at. Oh, we got our eyes. How's it going? What have you been up to? I haven't seen you. A pink one. I'll see what I got. I'll see what. Ah, where are they? Oh, I think this is a pink one. Carol, thanks, Carol. That's weird. What is going on here? Oh, there we go. All right, now I got it. Yeah, Carol, we got a big lineup, a marathon today. I hope I have enough energy. Wow, the market is minus 400, you guys. They said the the inflation went up. It's high. We'll be starting here in a few minutes. Get everybody in here. Auntie, I sent you that video of Patriot Princess on Telegram. Yep. So we will get started. Hopefully everybody is listening at work, and we normally get the crowd coming in after I get started, Auntie. So when we get started with it, hopefully I text Kay. I'm going to read some stuff. So, yep, we're going to go ahead and get started. We'll do some reading for a few bits, then do the short videos, and then get going on our 10, 15-minute ones. There's our superstar, Carrie, just in time. I'm going to show this first. This photo here. What do you think of that, you guys? Anybody see that yet? I sent that to you too, Karen, Annie. All right. I got to read this now. All right. See how I do here. Okay, we got a one world government, end of the nations, one world army, one world police force, end of family unite, one world control bank, one world cashless currency, end of all private property, world depopulation and fertility control, end of home and car ownership, mandatory multiple B word yearly, universal whatever word, income, social media, digital ID, microchip for the health, shopping, and travel, implementation of Chinese social credit system, government raise children, all business run by state, end of non-essential air travel, humans concerned into 15-minute zones, end of private farms and vegetable gardens, end of animal ownership, ban all natural medicine and court, and end of individual rights, limit access to wild space, end of fossil fuel and modern conventions. How did I read that, you guys? Is that all right? A lot of reading. Here's another photo shot here. What do you guys think of this one? We got mail today, okay? 2 hours, and then the one video I'm playing from JJ.
Here I go again on my own.
Don't mess with Melania. YouTube, entertainment purposes, opinions only. All right, the next two are short ones, 5 and 3 minutes. Get you guys to let me know the play or not to play. Fine Eagle must be working. Carol, I think this is what you told me about, right? Okay, thanks. Okay. Ooh, Collins. Susan Collins was on there. Wow. I couldn't believe Susan Collins was oh cool, I found it then. It was on TikTok, I think. Well,
have the wrong picture of the beast system. When they hear the beast, they imagine something obvious, something scary, something evil looking, like a monster you can easily recognize. But that's not how the Bible shows it. The truth is, the beast system will not come looking like evil. It will come looking right. Let me show you. In Revelation 13, verse 7, the Bible says, "Authority was given him over every tribe, tongue, and nation." That means global influence, global reach, something accepted by everyone. not rejected. Now think about
Yep.
that.
Thank
If the
you.
whole world
Yeah.
accepts it, it won't look dangerous at first. It will look helpful. It will look necessary. It may even look like the solution to the world's problems. That's the deception. And this is not new. God has already shown us this pattern in real events in the Bible. Go back to ancient Egypt. There was a time when a system was built that controlled everything: food, economy, survival. And people trusted it. It didn't look evil at first. It looked like wisdom. It looked like order. But eventually that same system turned into bondage. People didn't see it coming. Another example, Babylon. Babylon wasn't just about idols. It was a system of influence, culture, power, control. People were drawn into it slowly. It didn't force them at the beginning. It shaped their thinking first. That's how these systems work. Now look at today. We are living in a world where everything is becoming more connected. Economies, technology, identity, communication. Things are becoming centralized, controlled, tracked. And again, it doesn't look evil. It looks convenient. It looks like progress. It looks like safety. But here's where you need to be spiritually awake. Because the Bible also says in 2 Corinthians 11, verse 14, Satan himself transforms himself into an angel of light. That means deception doesn't come in darkness. It comes in light. It comes in something that looks good. So the beast system will not show up and announce, I am evil. No, it will say, this will help you. This will make life easier. This will fix the world. And people will accept it, not because they love evil, but because they don't discern it. That's why this is serious. Because if you're only looking for something scary, you might miss it. If you're only expecting something obvious, you could fall into it. The real question is not, can you see evil? The real question is, can you discern what is disguised as good? Because the last days are not just about destruction, they are about deception. And only those who stay rooted in truth will recognize the difference. So don't just follow what looks right. Test everything. Stay spiritually awake. Because the beast system will not look like what you think.
That one, you guys. So, Kay, I found the guy at Telegram. He was on a different page. So I got 5 short ones, I think, from him. They're like 4-minute long. They're not very long.
And he's a retired criminal defense attorney. So we usually get into philosophical conversations. He went to law school, theological conversations. And it was interesting because we got into a conversation about the Constitution. And it was funny because his argument is basically the political argument that I have gotten whenever I talk about the Constitution. They say it's 247 years old. It doesn't affect times today. It doesn't affect how we are today. And I laughed because I said, in actuality, after reading the amount of books I've read, ancient books, I realized the Constitution is not 247 years old, or 244 years old, I'm sorry. The Constitution is actually, I might be off on my numbers, because it was drafted in 1787. I'm not going to do the math because I want to get the point across. The Constitution is actually probably closer to 3,500 years old. See, our forefathers, when they drafted the Constitution, they used ancient societies and their failures to try and better a more perfect document. So they drafted it studying ancient Greece, ancient Rome, the Bible, which is the ancient scriptures of society, the Decalogue, which is the 10 Commandments, and so on and so forth. The document itself is a rule book of civil rights, and it's a rule book of how we are supposed to conduct ourselves in society. Now, it's interesting because I've been doing some research on the application. The document says it is the supreme law of the land, which means that if that law is breached, then it's a violation. And if it's breached by a government official who takes an oath, well, that's called treason. So recently there have been some people offended at the fact that treason is punishable by death. Well, I'm sorry. I'm not the one that took the oath.
This
I'm
one's
not the
like
one
a
that
better
broke
one,
it.
isn't it, you guys?
If you don't like it, maybe you need to talk to your
Be
soul
good.
about your own fears. Because I don't have any fears.
Dang it, Chico.
But
No,
I wanted to make the point
stay there.
that
No,
the
stay.
document was drafted
They're just
using
walking by.
ancient history and ancient philosophy. And the fact that as I presented this to him, he was like, that's an interesting argument. Almost like he had
These
never
hits
heard that
like
argument
ladies.
before.
Thank you.
Then we got into the idea of the Constitution in society, and we talked about the revolution. And it was interesting because, like, only 20%, I think it was 20% of the people, this is the argument they give us, only 20% of the people actually wanted to secede from Britain. And they were the landholders, and they were this, and they were that, and they were all these people, right? To discredit them, right? To discredit their ability of the document that they drafted. What I found fascinating was, as I said, well, if you look around, only 20% of the people actually wanted to secede, yet 80% never said no. It isn't like the American people that were there at the time stood up and said, we don't want to secede. They were complicit. They went along with it. They didn't stop it. They didn't fight it. They just let the 20% that wanted to do something about it go do something. And that's pretty much how things are today. People get together. There's a rough group of motivated people that want to make changes. And then there's the people that are there when they're there, but they're not really. And then there are people that just don't say anything and they just go along with the flow because they agree, but they're just not motivated enough. Well, that's your 80%. So again, his response was, that's a very interesting perspective. I was like, yeah, it's not like the other citizens took up arms and started fighting the revolution, the patriots, to declare independence from Britain. They went along. They were part of it. They just weren't actively part of it. And I think these are some of the things that we get programmed or we get led astray from the facts of what's really transpires and what really goes on. So I hope everybody had a blessed day and stay safe.
Okay, that's the first one.
My vault holders out there,
Only
people who've installed vaults. The conveyance documents or forms are ready, and they will be going out next week. And I know people have been waiting. They want to get their land transferred into the trusts, into their vault, and that'll go out next week, hopefully Monday. For those of you who don't have the ledger books, you'll get your ledger books with the conveyance documents. And for those of you who do have your ledger books, you know how to record them. You can record them when the transfer happens and designate your individual that'll handle the land holdings for the organization and maintain that paperwork. So I wanted to say that it's really good. It's come a long way, and now we can start transferring the land. Okay? So God bless and Godspeed.
Okay, I got a couple more with him.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, you remember all these or not?
So, as you can see,
10 minutes.
back on the train again. So, I want to talk about something interesting. So it's been an interesting road. Let's do a rehash. I haven't made a video in a while. You guys, so there's a couple things that came up, and I think they need to be talked about. There was a conversation today about getting funding from like using flyers and getting funding, especially with this new part of the mission to get the Daughters of the Republic of Texas and the Texas Republic reestablished under international law, which is essentially that petition's been filed at what we found to be the hemispherical court, and we posted those. So second thing that people are trying to get funding, and they're trying to work with getting funding for this, because this stuff's not cheap. I've been on the road since the 30th, putting in vaults and doing different things. We now have 4 vaults in Michigan, got vaults in Los Angeles, San Antonio.
As you guys remember this?
So a lot of this stuff, is coming along. But I got approached about getting like corporate entities or getting funding from organizations, stuff like that. And here's the problem. The problem is the way that our funding is set up in North America. We can't take funding from an organization that is not a member, and we don't issue for like corporate exemptions, like for federal exemptions, because we don't have federal funding. We have that's better light. Sorry, trying to keep the road rolling by in the picture too. But anyways, we don't have federal funding. We are North American Continental. So any funds that come through our funding apparatus are Continental funds. They're not federal. So we can't give receipts for like tax deductions. We don't do that. Like, that doesn't happen. We don't issue a tax deduction because you're tax exempt. We're not tax exempt. We're civilly liberated.
I'll be doing now after a couple more after this.
But at the same time, I want to talk about something else that's going on. So people need to understand that we get funded by individuals. Like, that's it. Like, individuals, that's it. Like, not public, not corporate bodies. And we're going to talk about something else. So second thing we're going to talk about is the Fourth Amendment. And the Fourth Amendment says, and I'm going to paraphrase it, I don't have it written in front of me, but it says that people have the right to privacy in their person. Okay? So let's talk about what that means. Okay? So this is what it means. The right to privacy only happens when you are under the shell of a personus. Okay, person. This is why the Constitution says you have to be a citizen and a person, because a citizen can have privacy in their person, right, which is their public face. So essentially, the way that our organization is set up, we have a EIN number. We are registered corporately personas under a sole proprietorship LLC called Our United Republic out of the state of Florida. You can go to Florida Sunbiz and you can look up and you'll find Athenos Ascension, and it's a DBA, Our United Republic. So Athenos Ascension is definitely the origin sole proprietorship, and Athenos Ascension is the like parent company, and we have a fictitious name called Our United Republic, and Athenos Ascension LLC is where I'm the owner of the sole proprietor, and Andoramo is the chief operations officer. So that's in personas, right? Because remember, when two come together, you make a church. It's going to become really important. When two come together, you make a church, right? In my name. Okay, good. So that's our LLC, that's our public personas, and then we are registered with the U.S. Treasury Department as a private individual under the Treasury Department, under FinCEN. So that gives us our private relationship with the United States, not just the state. Okay, and then we have Our United Republic recording in Henderson, Texas, and we have Our United Republic that are not Our United Republic, but we have the Inter Vivo Living Trust, and then we have the court orders for the American Republic, and so on and so forth. So that is privacy in personas, or the Fourth Amendment, in private, in their person, inside their person, in a shell person. Okay. So whenever an organization joins our organization, or you put a community trust in and they're going to move their assets, they are coming in persona, coming inside the church, right? So it's a church, right? Okay, good. Sorry. So let's lead that into the next part. Okay, so part 3, we are going to talk about religious accommodations versus religious exemption. Okay, so this is a big thing that came up today. And I'm not going to say who it is. I had written a religious exemption for a member of the organization. They were going to work at a job, and I wrote it as the international bar member and as the international minister under our organization. I wrote a religious exemption, and they took it to their current work, and their current work went and basically treated them like they had leprosy. Wouldn't even talk to them about vaccinations or anything, because there are some places still doing that. Okay, so today I'm having a conversation with this individual, and they tell me that they tried to use the religious exemption again for another job, a different job that they got. And I'd written this a while ago, so it's been a while since they've used it. They've had to use it, but they had to use it, right? And they tell me that the organization that they went to work for said that doesn't work for them. They have to fill out this accommodation form. And I about flipped my freaking lid. Okay. Because I'm the international bar member for the Inter-American Court of Human Rights, and I'm on the War Crimes Committee, North American Forum, and I'm the one that's the international independent minister, right? So the way civil law works and religious exemption or religious liberty works is you have to have a private ministerial organization on letterhead, a qualified individual will draft the exemption letter or the letter of religious liberty, right? So that you can be exempt from vaccines. Okay? They give her a thing and they tell her that she has to fill out this accommodation form. So let me tell you the difference, okay? When you are civilly liberated, okay, civil liberty is not civil rights, number one. Okay, civil rights are personas for corporate. Civil liberties are for private individuals or protected class. But when you get an accommodation, that is not a liberty and that is not an exemption. That is a employment or a schooling, federal schooling, workforce training accommodation, basically making you disabled under the Americans with Disabilities Act, because now you have an accommodation. They have to accommodate you, which means they have jurisdiction over you, but they actually have to put you into this special class of disabled because you're basically not fully a part of their system and you're too dumb or you speak in tongues, so therefore you're ignorant, and you have to have someone specifically put over your situation because you're retarded and you're an infant and you speak strange language. So they have to accommodate you because accommodations are not exemptions and they are not civil liberties. So thank God for the Fourth Amendment. And I don't know what we're going to do. God bless and God.
Okay, yeah, I played that a while back, but some people might have missed it. Okay, I got 3 short ones I want to do, and then we'll get to the 2-hour mail. We got the new video on our TikTok lady. Will you stop, Chico? Just a minute. Oh wait, play that later. 6 minutes she has on this one.
Happen to be, I've got some updates for you. Did you know that the UAE has been secretly striking Iran? That's right. They even knocked out one of their oil refineries right before the ceasefire. So Saudi Arabia has been working in connection with the United States against Iran. What Newsmax said this morning was Iran is literally bringing countries together. We're all coming together against Iran. The only people that's bitching and moaning about what we're doing over in Iran is the left over here on this side. The second thing I want to tell you, some farmers have been on CNN lately bitching and moaning about the price of fertilizer, saying this is the reason beef prices are high. I don't know if you remember, but beef prices have been high for quite a while. They fail to tell you that the drought that has been going on for 2 years in those areas where they raise beef has been having a big issue. Not to mention, and I hate to say this, the gray wolf is a protected species, and I love my wolves. However, with that said, they are costing the beef industry $50 million a year because they are eating, stalking, stressing out, and causing less cows to be born, because when the cows are born, the wolves come in and do what they do. So unfortunately, it looks like President Trump is going to lift some of the laws that he has, that they have against hunting these gray wolves. I think that's supposed to happen. I really hate that. But everybody's bitching and moaning about the price of beef. So what do you expect to happen? The other thing I want to tell you, did you hear about the China spy that's been the mayor in California that just got arrested for spying on the United States and pushing Chinese propaganda? Acadian Mayor Eileen Wong has been arrested. And did you know this? This is going to blow your mind. Did you know that if you are a spy in the United States, or if you're a spy from another country, you can come to the United States legally as long as you register as a spy in the United States? Yes, ma'am, that's true. Look that up. So, meanwhile, Trump is about to release, or has already released, billions of gallons of oil to try to lower the gas prices. Everybody is screaming about the gas prices rather than being worried about a nuclear bomb being built by an Islamic regime that's unaliving their own people, that want to unalive us, that refuse to sign the peace agreement because they want President Trump to give them money for the war. They want to be able to make a nuclear weapon and unalive us with it very soon. And they want in control of the strait. And he says no.
Hey,
so
Gloria.
look very soon for all of this to ramp back up. And like I said, this is the fourth time I've said it. Iran is not going to surrender. They're not going to give up. They're going to take out their own country. They'll take out their own oil. They'll flood the ocean. They'll do everything because they want to get their virgins. More good news about California. Go to your Google and Google, well, I can't say it, MURDERER and rapist scheduled to be released from California prison. Go Google it. There is people on there that California, Governor Newsom, even though the prosecutor, the parole board, and everybody is telling him, do not release these men out in public. One of them strangled a woman. One of them kidnapped. One of them raped. One of them unalived. Governor Newsom is supposed to release them out into California. Don't know if they're going to stay in California. Perhaps they'll travel to another state. President Trump is headed to China to have talks with the Chinese leader. This is a very sticky situation. If we have a conflict with China, within seconds of it being said that we have a conflict with China, 10% of everything just basically stops right then. Everything goes to hell in a handbasket. This man has got to go over there and talk and work things out with China as only Trump can. So I know that's going to work out. China depends on Iran for about 90% of its oil. It would be in China's best interest to quit fucking around and tell Iran to get their shit together, which is not going to happen because Iran is not going to get their shit together. Democrats are doing everything they can, shady, underhanded, and shystery to try to win the midterms. Let me tell you what AOC said. If you have not seen her last interview, she said in her own words, they are going to end the filibuster and they are going to do everything they can to make this a one-party government. If the Democrats get back in office, first of all, if they get in the midterms, they're impeaching Trump. They're going after everybody. They're going to stop Trump's progress. Everything they can do, they're going to stop it. The second thing is, if they find a way to illegally, sneakily, slimily, shitty screw with these elections, it's going to be a one-party government forever. That's why we need to end the filibuster so we are in charge for a very, very long time. There's one man that's preventing the filibuster from being ended in the Republican Party, and you need to contact him. Please get in touch with John Thune. Google John Thune, how to contact, email this man, call his office, do what you have to do, and tell them you want the filibuster ended. Good afternoon, everybody, in case you're not.
Okay. Oh, okay. I didn't know Kay had to do a few things. All right, Kay. Love ya. And Lucy made it just in time. New Mel video. It's going to be 2. I believe it's a new one. Oh, come on.
A lot of stuff happening. And you have been mentioned in different other lives and Q&As and other chats.
Yes.
So
I
don't know if you know that or not. Your name is getting out there. And for the most part, what I heard is that, there's a lot of agreement with what's being said, especially about redemption centers. So, and the Zim bonds, I'm hearing a little bit of not discrepancies so much anymore as because clarification has come out. I think that was sort of a bombshell for people thinking they're going to go in there and get rich and get paid out with the Zim right away, but that's not how a bond works, and you did explain it. So I'm very glad that you bring truth to this Q&A, that you're not, how do I want to say this, influenced by other entities that maybe make you say certain things. I don't feel that you are. And definitely you not. Said that you aren't. So no. I don't think it's time anymore to play head games with people. You're dealing with their hearts, you're dealing with their lives, their livelihoods, their health. And we've been basically been fibbed to quite a lot for the last 8-9 years. And you know what? Just be honest. Just be honest with us. We got our biggie boy pants on. We can handle it. So I'm very grateful that you are with all of us. So with that, thank you again for being here. And what is the update for us this week?
It's where do you start? But I'm feeling very, very humbled from that introduction. Thank you so much. And no, I'm not influenced by anyone. As I said to someone yesterday, what you see is what you get, ladies and gentlemen. And believe you me, it's through pure hard work and logical thinking. And they're still seizing my camera over this side, I can see, but that's okay. But yeah, certainly a lot going on. Boy, I feel like I've been pulled to pillar to post. I don't know whether it's day or night, but let's get in and have a quick look. Not a lot. There's a lot of big movements, as I said, at the Bank of International Settlements, and interesting that we do go back. As I said, as I went to press to come in, I was one of the comments that I saw was, of course, from TBJ02, who was the instigator, believe it or not, of my rant. WW7, can you just mute, darling, until I get to you? Thanks, doll. And what happens is, as I said, we look at these markers and sometimes we don't actually see something happen. But a lot of things did happen on around May the 7th. And these changes were, of course, in the Bank of International Settlements, the IMF. We saw tax systems being jolted, so to speak. And we also saw many cyber attacks. So whilst we're watching all these other things programmed into this so-called movie, believe you me, sometimes there's these things that we can't substantiate, but we can see things that have actually happened in the background. And of course, as I said the other day, even that in the London Bullion Exchange and Commission and that as well, there was movement. And they, of course, have now come out with a statement regarding the paper versus the unallocated silver. So we can certainly expect something to come out of that. But sometimes a lot of things, as I said, can only be substantiated by what I see, what I research. Yes, 7th of May was a big marker and there was cyber attacks. In fact, I just went back to a screenshot of certain things that happened. We had the big standoff actually on the 7th of May, and we were all watching Iran, but at the same time we saw the UAE pull out of OPEC. Now this is, of course, to do with the petrodollar and how that all came about. You've got one of the largest Arab countries pulling out of OPEC, okay? And you got to be thinking about, well, why is that happening? We know that it actually technically happened several years ago, but why is this so important? Because it actually gives sovereignty back to those nations that were part of OPEC and allow other nations to take control of their oil, that including Iraq, and of course that stimulates the stability for their currency. So this whole global news that we often talk about, or not visualizing about the prospects of what does it mean for the actual revaluation of currencies and how they're going to be trading. So I just thought I'd throw that one out there on around 7th of May. That was really, really big. We talked about, of course, there was more strikes on Beirut and Lebanon. So we've got, but as I said, in many countries were being restructured. Okay, so we saw France move to secure the strait as well. So France finally got involved, of course, with the Strait of Hamas, and they were basically sealing their deals in the free transport through that strait as well, although they potentially call it a security risk, but it is. And of course, bizarre traffic news popped up as a truck rolled over carrying cheeses. And of course, we did talk about cheese a few weeks ago, so quite funny how the news pops around. But as I said, that's not important to all of you though, but I would like to know what else out there are you troubled about. So ladies and gentlemen, that little bit of a brief update, because boy, did we hammer it last week. You guys copped it. I think copped Mel nearly every single day last week. So very, very important that, of course, we start with all of you. So fire away, ladies and gentlemen, who would like to start the ball rolling? Who we got? Otherwise, we can go straight to the board if no one's ready to be bombarded. So I think they almost have chickened out.
Oh, I can't imagine that. If you have a question for Mel, If you have just unmute your mic. We don't have
Unmute your
put your
mic.
hand up
Yeah.
on here.
There we go. Dee Dee, how are you?
Oh, wonderful. How are you doing, Mel?
I am awesome. Yes. And we'll get to Cherie straight after you.
Oh,
But what's happening in
great.
your world? What would we like to talk about this morning, this afternoon, this evening? What are we?
Well, I know you don't have ESP, but I do want to ask about the birth certificates. If you have any at all, and because I'm hearing that we now have control of the straw man, and I'm even noticing mail coming with the upper and lowercase names, so I don't even think that's a situation, as people talked about that a lot over the years. So I'm wondering, do you know anything about the birth certificate being evidence of a bond, and whether we control over the birth certificate situation?
Yes, well, we can talk about that.
Thank
because
you.
I bring you that. That's all good. Well, I bring you the news to say that there is changes in the system and things like that as well. So if you're seeing those changes, so let's wait until we see the big change, say, for instance, in our driver's license or our passport. And when that happens, it will be boom shakalaka. So that's really interesting that you've noticed that, because that is very, very important. And as I've said, I give you all of the ones for you to see. And then when you start seeing it, it's your confirmation, honey. It's your confirmation. It's coming. Now, how does it work? Now, this is the big ultimate question, because what about those children, such as myself, who don't have a birth certificate? Interesting, isn't it?
And I have a friend up north in Canada that actually didn't have to register the newborn that was born last week at the hospital.
There you go. So how's this going to roll
where you
out?
from again? I forgot.
So back in, I'm trying to remember the year, it would have been in 1910, I think it might have been, somewhere around, it might have even been later than that. You used to be able to go into a company by the name of Fidelity, and you used to be able to type in your name, your birth certificate number, and they would give you an approximation of what they actually, how much your birth certificate was traded. And of course, whilst I was there, I put mine in, and of course I don't exist.
This isn't the new one, right, you guys?
So this eliminates, of course, and the government's used to, of course, sell your birth certificate, as you know, and traded it on the stock market. So this is a fantastic confirmation. Now, how it gets paid out, I really, truly don't know. As I said, if you're thinking about it in a fair world, you would hope to think that, yes, all of that money that was traded went into a pool, and then that was distributed evenly to everyone, not just yourself. And the reason I say that, and it's not to upset anybody, especially if you've already gone in there and you say, I'm worth $45 million. And as I said, and your husband might be worth $79 million. He might have been traded a few more times. There is a fairness acronym, I believe, that has come into play, and it's not that you're going to receive it in one lump sum. And the reason being, as I said, is because if you were to give everyone that money that is rightfully owed for you, I'm not saying you're not going to get it. What I'm saying is if you give it to everyone that was entitled to have it, it's going to create chaos. It'll be more than mayhem, I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be bigger than mayhem. So the thing is that how it's going to be distributed, or where those funds have been placed. In Australia, I believe it was placed in what they call a Commonwealth Fund, and that was redirected, I believe, in 2012 here in Australia, and those funds will be dispersed how they see fit, is my understanding. As I said, there's been people like myself who have been sacrificed as children and all sorts of things. I'm one of the very few survivors of all of that. So my question is that what happens to people who have also come over from other countries to migrate to Australia and don't have birth certificates, and this, that, and all the rest of it. So it would have to be a level playing field. I always go back to that story. And it's not as though you're not going to get it. It's just how you're going to get it and when you're going to receive it is anyone's guess. But I do know that here in Australia, it was pooled and placed in a Commonwealth Fund. How it's distributed, I really do not know that. But you're seeing changes. I know that there has been many changes over the years with the upper and lower case letters. If you're receiving letters from different conglomerates such as the courts and things like that as well, start looking at those little changes. They are very important. It means that the system, as I said, this is a transition, ladies and gentlemen, and those transitions through the system will be slow, and they will be released accordingly and to give us all a smooth transition. But I hope that helps, Dee Dee.
Thank you, now.
That's okay. And to think that you don't even have to register your child's birth, that's a big one too, Dee Dee. Appreciate you more than you know. That's very, very cool. It means too that you're observant about what's going on around you. So kudos to you. Thank you so much for that. So it's a nice change to talk about something a little bit different. Cherie, how are you, Dom?
Very good, very good. Thank you for being here. How are you?
Oh, that's okay. Yes, I woke up this morning and I'm breathing, so it's a fantastic day.
Amen. Got it. My question for you is, I am sharing some of the currencies with a 35-year-old daughter of mine. There is mental health challenges, so I want to be very careful about how I help her set this up. Listening to your last discussion, it occurred to me maybe the Argo checks or the bonds are a good thing because they are paid out over time. So it might be held safely, for young kids or someone with mental health. Obviously, I'll be seeking lots of guidance on how to do that. But do you have any insight that just might help me ask good questions on how to, transfer wealth to
transfer that wealth?
Yep, children and mental health. Yep.
Yeah. Look, there's many programs that I'm working on in the background. I'm investigating quite a few different associations, putting together, wealth management. So you take a little bit from everywhere. I was talking to my group over in Malaysia on Saturday, and we were discussing this exact thing. So you've got to use the tools that are available in the current system and then make them your own. So, bonds are a great way of doing it, as I said, because you've got to remember to understand the bond, you're actually receiving yields as well. So, and then at the end, of course, you get paid back that bond to the value that it is. So it is a great way, and it's a great way of during that time. So there's no big rush, really, Cherie, to go straight into it. A lot of these things are put into fiduciary funds until we sort of get our head around, oh my gosh, look how much we've got. Now what do we do with it? As I've said many times, I'm not going anywhere. You've got the likes of people such as Will Barney's got programs. Just look at the programs that you've got that are available because there is many, many different ones. And as I said, I am working in the background, working extremely hard, as I said, setting up the YouTube channel, but to make sure there's enough content for things like this as well, Cherie. So as I said, work with the tools that you've got. Maybe I might do something. We might even do an actual special show just on that transfer of wealth, because it probably deserves a good 2-hour show just on the transfer of wealth, because there is intergenerational wealth where we pass it on now that things are tokenized with real estate and assets and things like that as well. So it probably deserves a whole 2-hour show, Cherie. You should come and join me for that one. So I will put together something. I think that might be, and I'll line it up with Wildflower as well, because this is a good time frame for me for my week's busy schedule. So we could certainly do a Pacific show on transfer of wealth, call it the Transfer of Wealth show. So Wildflower, can you just make a note of that? And I will endeavour to put a program together specifically on just that and that alone, because hopefully I get a whiteboard and I'm really good on a whiteboard, by the way. You should see me. It's a new dimensional Mel when you see me going crazy on a whiteboard. But yeah, we can certainly have a look at that. But trusts are not trusts, but bonds and that are a very good way. We can talk about trusts as well. A lot of people have been sold many different trusts and been informed that this is the trust that you need. You don't need any trust. If it's in a fiduciary fund, this allows you to make the transition, because once you get in a trust, it is very difficult to get it out of a trust.
Can you define just vocabulary, fiduciary fund? Can you?
That's where well, that's where it's basically held, and it's guaranteed by the banks and things, this, that, and all the rest of it. So it's basically putting it in a fund. Doesn't earn anything. It's like a quantum account almost. And of course, it's held there as a fiduciary. The fiduciary is the bank at this point in time, and they will hold that until such time as you would like that dispersed into different accounts. So it's just it's like a secured trust account, but it's not difficult to get out. It's a fiduciary account. So
Thank you. All right. We will start the conversation then. Thank you so much.
Oh, I know. Well, that gives me some work to do for next week.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no. It's been a long time coming. So next week, I'm just going to write that now. So I just about emptied out my notebook for this month. So we can do that. So it is an important one, and it's that needs to be discussed about, how do we transfer wealth and the things that we need to look at. So there's some really good videos out there on living trust as well, Cherie. So we'll certainly go through that as well. So living trust. My pleasure. Who else have we got?
Mel?
Yes, Bee Stop. How are you? Oh, little buzzy bee, just like me. Oh, I love it.
Oh, thank you, Mel. I appreciate you so much. I have a question about the birth certificates and the Social Security numbers. I lost my husband a little over a year ago, and he has a son, and I wasn't sure how that would work with the division of what was supposed to have been his. Would that come to me? Would it be split between the son and myself? How does that work?
I believe it goes to the, so were you his power of attorney and things like that as well, obviously?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, it'll go to you, and then, and of course you're going to do the right thing anyway, so I'm pretty certain that's how it rolls. Every situation's going to be different, which reminds me though, Bee Stop, and I'm glad you bring this to our attention today. Geez, we're getting down in some nitty-gritty stuff today. I'm liking it. So what happens is there was a formula that I found several years ago. It wasn't perfect, but it does talk about, so once the actual revaluation of currencies actually occur, what happens is that you will dedicate or allocate people to find, he may even have other money that is owed to him that you may not have been aware of. These are the things that you pay holistic lawyers and accountants and that to do for you. And they will also be part of that generational wealth transfer, where we talk about the different splits of how that has all gone about. But as I said, there may be even checks that were written to him that never arrived, and we've forgotten about them, as we do. Not that it's very much, quite often, and not a lot, but there is means and ways. B-Stop, there's many different things that you can do to assist you in that procedure. But just to let people know that when you have lost a password, and my thoughts and prayers are with you too, sweetheart, it's still very, very raw after 12 months. It does take a few years to for those emotions to settle down. But go through the motions, honey, and as I said, as this all happens, there is many, many good people out there that can assist you in distributing that as it comes through. So
okay, yeah. And a bit to go a bit deeper, I have lost my parents as well, and wasn't sure how that would be divvied up either. Does that go to the children? My dad was not married. He lost my mom, and then later on in years he passed away. So neither of them had other spouses or anything. Is that just divided amongst the children, or how does that work?
The sad part about this is there is going to be a cut-off year. I can't remember the year. I'm just trying to go back into my filing system up here. There was a cut-off year of when they started this process. But I'm sure, honey, look, I'm sure, B-Stop, there's not just you, darling. There's heaps of people out there with the same similar situation. It will be exactly that. They would just go back and, find those who are part of it, and it'll sort itself out, believe you me.
Yeah, I'm not worried about what I'm going to get. I just wondered how it was supposed to be divvied up. And, maybe responsibilities that maybe we had that we would have to do. So that's kind of where I was going with that. But I appreciate your time now. Thank you.
No, that's all right. Responsibility always falls on those of us who are still here, aren't they? It really is. But yeah, like I said, that will come in through the generational wealth that we'll do and next week, hopefully. Yeah, that'd be cool.
There you are.
All for truth. Where have you been? You've been quiet.
Well, I'm trying to be respectful and let other people talk as well.
Oh, that's okay, honey. That's okay. You know how much I love you. So, and D-Mum, you're up next after that.
So,
yes.
So I have a question. Actually, I have two questions. One is, isn't it true that when we go to our wealth managers to meet with them, we need to make sure that they are a fiduciary for us and not the bank? That's my first question.
That's correct. Yes, that is 1000% correct. Thank you for verifying that clarity. Yes.
Okay. And my second question is, what is your thought about Trump going to China, and he's only going to be there for 3 days? And what do you think the topics are? I just want to open that up.
Well, it's very interesting because I actually touched on this a little bit the other day, and I said, geez, I'd love to be a fly on the wall on that one. He started his trips and that on the red Tiananmen Square, and it's going to be very, very interesting. Look, we saw the King Charles thing. Now he's going back to China. He's almost doing the same circle as what he had done when he first was inaugurated. To me, what it is signing off, I've mentioned it briefly before, I believe the Chinese one is going to end up being the world currency, that everything is linked to China in the quantum system. So is this and you think of, also you can think of the Chinese elders, and of course that's linked to, of course, the disbursement of the actual funds to we the people. So for me, as I said, we're not privy to a lot of things, but we certainly do have to ask the question, what is the meaning and purpose of his meeting? Is this the 3 days of darkness or dark to light? Because I believe we've already gone through the darkness and now we're looking for the light. And the light at the end of the tunnel, as I said, is that going to be the release of Nasara Jasara funds to We the People. It comes to mind, but it's not very clear at this point. Again, we'll have to watch it and see how we go. So,
do you think it could be a reverse capitulation tour?
Yeah, it could be, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, like I said, for Nasara Jasara to occur, they certainly have to collapse all of those old nefarious systems, don't they? So it could be another capitulation by all means. That's what I said. We will certainly be watching that one. Where does he go after that? Russia?
Cuba.
Cuba. Does he really?
Oh,
Cuba. Is it really? I thought it was okay. But he will go to Russia at some point, or does Russia come to him? But yes, right, Cuba is next. Thank you. That's all right. D-Mum. That's all right. D-Mum, you're up next, darling. How are you?
Hi, Mel. I'm great. How are you?
Fantastic.
I have a currency question, and I'm not sure if I'm just reading too much into this or if there is anything here or not. But I'm calling from the United States. And of course, you know, we have the fiat dollar. Our 5, 10, 20, and $100 bills are all from the United States Federal Reserve System. That's the actual stamp that's on them. But our $1 bills are all from the federal banks, and then they're different states. They're not the same Federal Reserve System.
That's correct.
Will they be reevaluated differently?
That's a very good question. My brain went straight to the fact that it is connected to your state's gold and silver.
So do you think, my thinking on it is that the $1 bills would actually be technically worth more because they're...
Yes.
Okay, that was... Okay, thank you.
You're onto it. That's okay, but you're onto it. And the reason I say you're onto it, D-Mum, is because we have to look at the fact that the $1s and the $2 were linked, of course, to that of the silver certificates as well. So they will be worth more. So don't underestimate your $1 bill, so to speak. It's a bill of rights, isn't it? That's okay, darling. Perfect. So, Gail, how are you? I'm pretty sure Gail popped up before. Daisy Miss, how are you?
Thank you very much. Quick question about humanitarian. For instance, if I have 2 humanitarian projects and I have some currency, and is the humanitarian project based on our frequency or our currency amount?
Both.
Which of the, or both?
Both, yeah.
So in other words, if I have a large humanitarian project that, you know, takes up a lot of, let's say, 2 or 300 million or 400, whatever the amount is, and my funds, the currency exchange will be sufficient. Would they consider the frequency first?
It's all in the same basket. It's still all in the same basket, Dol. It's all in the same basket. Just understand this. A lot of projects are going to be overlapping as well.
How's everybody doing?
What I said to the boys from Malaysia is that also be
another good one.
When we talk about projects, we probably should do a project show as well. And the reason I say that is because a lot of people have had their projects written by other people and they don't really understand their project. But here's my point, is that your projects are also going to be put into another pool of money, okay? And again, if it overlaps with another one, you could be receiving some assistance for that program. But inside that program, you may require a little bit of an adjustment to your actual project to be sustainable, to be self-sustainable. Okay, so sometimes we haven't been aware of, when we put these projects together, we weren't aware of, say, for instance, I'm going to use an animal shelter. And then an animal shelter is very, very popular for those who love animals. But what happens is to sustain the sustainability of that, they may have a cafeteria or holistic veterinary services there to help support the ongoing assistance that animals need. Does that make sense, Daisy? Because again, we can say, oh, okay, this is going to cost us $200 million to get this project on the road. But sustainability-wise, there's going to be other sectors that we look into to sustain that project as an ongoing business as well. And it has to be treated as a business. Otherwise, money's just going to be disappearing, and it'll end up being part of those projects that we all have to refund because it wasn't managed correctly. So, but there will be other funds that are available, as I said, in the philanthropy side, which is all changed. It's not all bad now as well. So that's another sector too that we'll also go into, is philanthropy, and have a look at the structures, the new structures and platforms underneath the umbrella of ESG, for instance. Used to be really bad, but now they're making changes. So you will have to comply to certain things as well to receive those monies and those grants and what have you. But it's a lot bigger than what people realised. And I kept consistently saying, you know, you don't go and rushing ahead and buying trusts and buying projects and getting people to do this because, a lot of them have not been done to be sustainable. So, again, we have to look at every project differently, Daisy. And that's what we do. We look at the project. Is it sustainable? Is it going to cover the environment, social governance program? Is it covering the United Nations? And I don't want people to go and panic about what they've already done. There's simple implementations that you can adjust to, but this has been the issue over many years, is that people have not kept up to date. And during the time that we've all been waiting to do our project, as I said, a lot of things have changed. And if you are holding a project, you may need to go through and actually reassess some of those things and maybe update them a little bit yourself. And so, Daisy, it's a mixture of things. I think those who have pretty much written an actual project, a humanitarian project, your frequency is already high anyway. So when it comes to both, as I said, we look at the fact that how much effort's been put into the actual projects, and then it would be frequency, but you've already created your frequency to do the project at the same time. So they comes in a basket, Daisy. As I said, every individual project gets looked at differently. As I talked to someone the other day, they had 20 projects. But when I looked at them, technically they only had 3 because they all overlapped each other. So again, you can have as many projects as you like, but we'll go through that over a period of time. But Daisy, all is good. All is good, honey.
Thank you. I appreciate your feedback. I'm sorry, I missed the other $1 and $2 bills. I'm in Canada, so the old notes would be exchangeable. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Oh,
yes.
oh, okay. So they have a value.
They do have a value. Yes, some of them
So I could bring them into the redemption center, is what you're saying?
Yeah, bring them in, and they will tell you whether they are just going to be remaining as a commemorative note, or they are actually worth something. So they will be able to determine that for you.
That's wonderful. Okay. I never even thought about that. Thank you kindly. I appreciate that.
Okay. No worries at all. Lily.
Sorry.
Hold on, Divinely Made. There's a whole heap of people just went chung, 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 chung. Lily, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
So, how is going with the president is going to the China, and are we going to have a disclosure when he's there?
I think so. It's a pretty big day, actually, the 14th of May. You've got the Clarity Act. That gives us a little more clarity, doesn't it? There's a few things happening on the 14th. Someone sent me a calendar the other day of all the things happening on the 14th, and it's like, whoa. So I think there will be disclosure. I really do. Does it come to the point, Lily, that you would almost say that it would be, like I said, if it was deemed to be Nasara Jasara, I hope people understand too, in China, it's not just the Communist Party. They do have other parties in China. So just putting that out there as well. So is this going to be that disclosure of the illustrious Chinese Communist Party? So we'll see. We'll see what happens, Lily. I'm looking forward to that week, well, this week altogether, because there's something happening every single day. But thank you very, very much. So we'll go to
only one quick question on. So we have a disclosure from China, and we did UK because King Charles was here. So that was one disclosure, right? So every main country we has to do the disclosure, or just a few countries only?
Well, I think it will be a selective few, but they are all linked together because, as I said, if you were to go back on the movements that DJT did on his first inauguration as president and what he's doing now, although he's including Cuba, Cuba is Israel. Yeah. So again, like I said, I think it will be a number of them. As I said, I do expect him to go to Russia at some point in the near future, very near future, and we'll see what happens. But I do think it will be selected. And the reason it's selected, though, Lily, is to put people's mindset at ease. Is the reason it's selected, I'm saying selected, is because of the placement of where the quantum system is being operated from as well. So you'll have your China covers your Asia and your Australasia. And of course, then you've got South America, which in, Brazil, Argentina. Then you've got Russia, and then of course you've got the UK. So there's your Five Eyes basically covered as well. So I think it's the destroying of that old CIA Five Eyes agencies. I think that's where we're sort of sitting at the moment, but we'll definitely see. So, but thank you, Lily. Appreciate you more.
That means they are going to go 34 buildings are going to go down too.
Well, possibly, but some of them have already gone down, though. This is the point.
But like Golden Gate in California.
Yeah, the Golden Gate, that kind of thing. So, or they could just rattle it a few more times. Who knows what they're going to do with that beautiful Golden Gate in San Francisco. But, there's a lot of things that can possibly happen. But looking forward to this week. There's some big, big things happening. Divinely Made, how are you? And then we'll go to Mountaintop. Thanks, darling. Appreciate you. Divinely Made.
Totally blessed.
Oh, always. That's okay.
I'm 78.
Oh, bless you, darling. So technically you're only 15 years old. So you add those two numbers together. Yeah, you're 15.
But with the wealth transfer, I heard that because we're so old, which I don't really look at myself that way, and that we would get a lot of the money that we're supposed to be getting. I do not know if that's true or not. I do know that my project is going to, I have some things. Anyway, I wanted to get $1 million to every one of Elon's projects. Invest. Okay?
Yes.
Invest.
Yep.
And then I want to do President Trump's. I want to do the water reservoirs in the Appalachian. I'm going to do a community center in my hometown or right here in the Appalachians. The community center is for families to have fun. Roller skating, ice skating, horseback riding, putt-putting, a sled or a slide, all the things that people can have fun and have good memories.
Well, I'm not very good at putt-putt, but I do drive a good drive on a driving range, girlfriend. So I'm looking for a good driving range. Absolutely. This girl can whack it 276 meters.
I can roller skate and ice skate.
Well, yeah, no, my legs are too long. I get coordinated. So that would be a sight. That would be an absolute sight in the sight. Yeah, so awesome.
But that's my heart's desire, is so that families can go and have memories, to make good memories for each other.
And look, that's very, very important. I remember back in the late 1990s when I was introduced to the humanitarian project schemes. Back then, they often talked about it to us as if everyone looked after themselves first, and then their families, and then their communities, we didn't have to go and do all these other big projects because everyone would be looking after each other. So when you talk about community, honey, that is one of the acronym words that we use quite often in our humanitarian projects as we go through them. And if it is community based, for your community and for families and that to come together. And that's what it's all about, is bringing the families back together. You know, we've seen so much division over the time. I'm looking forward to coming down and having a little putt-putt with you because would you believe it? My surname is actually Putt, P-U-T-T. So there you go.
Oh, I love that.
So, so when you call it Putt-Putt, that's named after me. Just putting it out there. No, I'm only joking. But yes, it is. It is. It's a great day out when you can go and do those things. Like I said, I've never been a skater. I could never snow. I haven't tried snow skiing yet, but I did try water skiing because my long legs just can't coordinate. So that could be interesting if you could hold my hand, Divinely Made, on the skating rink. I'll give it a go. I will give it a go.
Bowling. Got to have bowling.
Yeah, I love bowling. I'm good at that. I did lawn bowls as well as a kid, and did extremely well. So, yeah.
Snowmobiling too.
Yeah, no, I like, and 10-pin bowling. Yes, a whole lot, honey. I'm not very elegant at it, but I will work on those skills. But fantastic. So, looking forward to seeing you very soon. Beautiful. Mountaintop. No worries,
Hey,
darling. Mountaintop.
Thank you.
How are you?
Hey, Mel. Good. How are you? Good, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Always.
I have two little tidbits to add just from what was mentioned before, and then a question. And the first one, I just saw it before the live that Elon was going along to China and possibly some other CEOs with Trump. So that could be some interesting meetings, possibly.
Ooh,
don't know if it's
science,
technology.
technology.
Yeah. So it was. Haven't verified it. I just saw it real quick. But if you have any thoughts on that, but
yeah, he's on. He is.
And then the other thing, Executive Order 14263 was signed in May, restoring medical innovation through patent transparency. It was supposed, and I just saw this again too, right before it came on, so I haven't verified everything, but it was uploaded, I guess, to the Federal Registry on Friday at 11:47 p.m. And then there was a leaked document by some military about med beds coming 90 days. And 14,000 nurses, 6,200 physicians being trained, all the different phases. It goes on and on. This post I saw, and they called med beds something else. They didn't call them med beds in this lead document. Yeah, it says the document outlines a phased deployment of bioelectric frequency therapy systems to civilian hospitals beginning Q4 2026. The devices are described as multi-spectrum electromagnetic resonance platforms capable of cellular regeneration, inflammation neutralization, and autonomous tissue repair. And then it goes on. But yeah, so, and have you heard any of that? No.
I've heard of it. I have heard of it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah, it wasn't verified, so, but.
Yeah, so.
But the executive order as restoring medical innovation, to me, that speaks pretty well of what we're stepping into. But
That's
anyways.
absolutely 100%. And it's like I've always, that's cool because, no, you stay right there, honey.
Okay.
So they're not calling it a med bed because, as I said, med beds are off-world planet type situations, okay? And these are medical beds and they will come in different forms. As I said, the program that was given to me, as I said, has schedules of estimates of how many times you need to go in for certain ailments and this, that, and all the rest of it. So I do have a copy of that. And I'm not surprised they didn't call it med beds, but some of the names that you just quickly mentioned in there are connected, of course, as I've said many times. The only ways to substantiate it is if you were to look at this on a bigger scale and consider all of those people who are not aware of the RV or the patents that have just been released or the executive orders, and they're just running around doing their thing. That's about 80 to 90% of the population, yeah?
Yep.
They would be going to what they believe to be, as I said, an MRI, because you basically said that's what one of them was, and then you've got tissue repair, that's another one. So as I said, depending on different levels of what is required, it doesn't talk about age regression and this, that, and all the rest of it, does it?
No, right.
That's what I'm saying, because all of that cannot happen until we have got ourselves adjusted, so to speak. So even for the beautiful divinely made who can still skate, oh my gosh, I'm looking forward to that. Let me tell you, this is what I'm saying. There's many other things that need to be sorted. Do we want it to happen like this? Yes, but it's always divine intervention. Why people, didn't quite make it across the finish line. That's in God's hands. We can't change that. Yep. What we can change is our mindset and stay positive and continue to work through these processes. So Mountaintop, if you can send me that or repost it here,
okay.
That will be an interesting one for people to digest when it comes to that.
Sure.
But thank you that is fantastic.
Now,
fantastic.
Quick question. When you talked about when the announcement comes for the RV, probably not 800 numbers. Obviously, emails are out. If there comes an announcement at that time, will they wherever the announcement comes from, will there be a suggestion for where to go for to redeem Zim bonds or do your RV currencies? There's no Wells Fargo in my state, and I've looked around. I've even talked to this was months ago, talked to a currency exchange, Florida and Texas. They're very well aware and will talk to you about when the RV comes. They said they will set up new things. They will have it. But as far as in my state, there's no Wells Fargo. In Arkansas, I'm not sure. Should I start looking now and calling? Because I know it's better to go in and, talk, but I'm not sure where to wait and where to go.
Yeah, I would wait. I would
Okay.
certainly wait. Here's a plan for those in the same situation. So we'll look at your situation just specifically.
Okay.
So what happens there is that, do you have currency exchanges in your area though, or near you?
Probably. I haven't talked to them. The only one I talked to was the one that's Texas, Florida, because they're pretty big. And someone told me, give them a call. They know what they're talking about. And if I have to, I'll travel I'll travel. But there's in the state, there's not a Wells Fargo. Only a Wells Fargo Wealth Management. Only one Wells Fargo Wealth Management, business. They're not really connected though to the bank in Arkansas.
No.
Yeah.
No, they're not connected to the bank, and that would be your starting point. I wouldn't ring them just yet. Ring them just yet. As I said, wait for it to happen, and then give them a call and go through that process. Now you're thinking, ladies and gentlemen, I am so proud of you, Mountaintop. I'm telling you.
There's one
that
other
is
thing.
awesome work. And just you go through the process. Okay, there's no rush to go and do this, and you shouldn't be rushing. Like I said last week, is a step-by-step process. Don't try and jump steps or skip over steps until this actually is happening. So it's the same with the projects. We'll talk about that, as I said, in the coming weeks. So we're looking forward to that.
That would be great. I love that talk. And I did find one Wells Fargo private banking in Missouri.
There you go.
So you have to have a certain, you can't really talk to them until you qualify. So I guess
until you qualify. That's exactly right. So,
we'll go
through the process. We'll be here for the long haul.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
Perfect.
Love you.
Did you want to go?
We're going to go to the wall now, Mel.
Wall. Yes. I knew you were. I knew that.
Okay. Thank you.
That's all right.
Tom, New Jersey, would you like to ask your question?
Yes.
How you doing, Mel?
I'm excellent. My economist in beside me right now. Let's go. What have you got for me, Tom?
All right. So the Philippines is currently in a state of emergency, due in large part to their critical reliance of imported energy from the Strait of Hormuz. Recent articles suggest Nickel Asia Corp, the country's largest nickel producer, has just 30 days of fuel supply remaining, while DMCI Mining Corp reports having as little as 15 days of fuel supply left. The Philippines government has pulled 20% from strategic petroleum reserves and extracted 20 billion pesos, which is $327 million from their previously off-limits sovereign wealth fund to secure emergency fuel deliveries. Some analysts state they may run dry by the end of June without replenishment. It's widely believed Yamashita's gold, possibly totaling 6,000 or more tons, was hidden in caves, tunnels, or underground complexes across Philippine cities. The country's published gold reserve sits at 133 tons. According to some analysts, Bangladesh has 14 tons of gold reserves, and Pakistan, with 65 tons of gold reserves, are also in dire energy crisis that is threatening their industrial survival. As the conflict hits the 75-day marker, President Trump discussed the Iran ceasefire being on life support, suspension of federal gas taxes, and an audit of our Fort Knox gold reserves. Georgia, Indiana, and Utah have enacted legislation to suspend state gas taxes. None of these actions, however, are positive indicators for a global short-term energy crisis resolution. So my question to you is, if you were the POTUS, what would you tell the people of all critically impacted countries as their economic livelihood and survival remain in jeopardy with no end to the conflict in sight?
Oh, geez, Tom, I tell you what, you must sit down and just ponder all these questions for me. Okay, let's go to the Philippines. So if I was POTUS, right, okay. The Philippines energy crisis, of course, is an actual crisis, and we see this in many of the what used to be called third world nations. They have pulled 20% of their reserves out, And of course, they are using stuff out of their sovereign fund. But this is where it gets very, very interesting. They are rebuilding, and it's quite amazing that they have 133 tons of gold and other things in their reserves as well. What's very, very interesting is I'm going to take it back to the nickel. So they are using some funds out of their sovereign wealth fund. And basically what happens there is this is to actually divert some of the energy, and the rare earth mineral will be put into place using those reserves. They will have to lock into some reserves, but I think that with the opening of the Hamas and the stability with Indonesia and India, so I believe they will possibly even transfer a lot of those fuel shortages are going to be dealt with through that of China and India, most likely India. The reason I bring India up to speed here is because you mentioned about Pakistan and Sri Lanka. They all become part of the Bharat Empire anyway, so they will be supported. Don't underestimate how much gold and that is in Sri Lanka and Pakistan. This is part of that war, or the hidden reserves that they have had. They are very, very well stocked in Pakistan. In fact, Pakistan and Afghanistan created stability in both those countries, where they created a trade deal between themselves, and they traded within gold and, of course, things such as tomatoes and agriculture and that as well. And I think that's what's going to happen in the Philippines. Philippines, of course, is where where one of the Garden of Edens is believed to be. Of course, yes, they have had them hidden in many, many mountains and everything else. So the audit does need to be done too. Also, the audit will be done. And I think after all of this is all said and done, what happens to that audit? Well, the audit is going to find that at Fort Knox there's probably nothing in there, because they have probably moved it, dispersed it, given back to what these other nations that we've just talked about have probably been given. But the gold is still there. Where is it hiding? It's hiding within the Treasury. You've got to understand that going through the tokenization of all of our assets, they are real world assets, ladies and gentlemen, you most likely will probably find there will be a bit of shock and awe when they find out the gold is not where it's supposed to be, because it was dispersed to these other nations that you've just mentioned about. But we have, everything is now tokenized. That's been verified. That's around about the 7th of May, I believe. We saw all of those changes in those cyber attacks. So that's my take, if I was POTUS, that the fuel reserves can be transferred from other countries nearby, such as India. We looked at the golden tonnage. That's all been rectified through tokenization. And let's get this audit done on Fort Knox and find out exactly what is there. You might even be totally surprised that there is actually more than what you suspect. But yeah, for things to be going on in the nation of the USA, POTUS has got that all under control. So there you go, Tom. So there, we'll see what happens. But Tom, thank you so much for that. I really enjoyed being POTUS for 3 or 4 minutes. That's exciting. There should be more of it. So there.
Thank you, Mel. Thank you, Mel. It was a big day for silver today. I don't know if you saw, but it went up about $6, and I couldn't find anything on why it went up. If you know, and you have any hints on why it went up today, that'll be great to hear. But thank you.
Ooh, it went up $6. Geez, I'll have to look into that. Yeah, I will, Tom. Thank you very much. So yeah, little adjustment there. Did the price of gold go down at all, Tom?
Gold remained mostly flat today. Didn't really change.
Mostly flat?
Yeah,
Okay.
which was interesting.
It is interesting. Okay, well, I will definitely ponder on that and I'll endeavour to find out. But again, like I said, I'm wondering if it's the distribution of the London bullion moving as well.
Hour and
we'll
7 minutes.
Hey, Mel.
Thanks.
Hour 7.
Yes, all for truth. Yes, darling.
I was just going to comment on Tom's question about silver and gold. There's a guy on YouTube called, I think his name is John C., and it is an AI guy, of course. But he said the reason that it went up is because there is not necessarily a ceasefire between Iran and the U.S. So you're getting to a point where the paper silver cannot sustain itself. And you're literally going to see silver escalate. And he said the benchmark is $86, and it could go down to 80. But then once it hits 80, it's going to escalate beyond what people could imagine.
Can even imagine. Yeah,
anyway,
I believe so.
2 cents.
Excellent. No, thanks for that little update. Because as I said, I had to catch a few Zs because I was traveling. So. Excellent. Thank you very, very much. Anything else on the wall at all, Wildflower?
There's lots on the wall. Sunshine Patriot, hi Mal. In your opinion, has McDonald's and the soda drinks been cleaned up? I can't imagine President Trump would eat and drink if it weren't. Thanks, Mel. Much love.
Oh, well, you can only hope so. Just remember back, ladies and gentlemen, that during the COVID pandemic, there was an incredible amount of surge on all of the McDonald's, and a lot of them were closed down. Those who were dealing with, of course, the human meat and all the disgusting stuff and behaviour, you can only hope. The thing is, you can go onto their websites now and have a look at the ingredients. Have the ingredients changed? I believe they have, and they have also changed in many products on your shelf, hence why say Domino's pasta sauce is much more expensive than what it was even 6 months ago, is because they are now using 86 to 90% of tomatoes instead of slop of other things. So again, do your research, whatever you feel comfortable with. There's still a high fat content thing there, but anyway, it is what it is. But definitely do your own research, find out if that is suitable for you, but I certainly won't be touching it too much soon. But they do have new menus and stuff, so you would hope that they have. But you can certainly go online and find out what they're putting in it. And I believe it has changed, as I said. Even their ketchup has changed in the ingredients. So I would say yes to that one.
All right, Dragon Poker. Question, Mel, you mentioned redeeming our Zim bonds at a bond network. I'm not familiar with that. How do we find that in our country, USA? We've been consistently told redemption centers within banks.
Okay, so bond exchanges in the US. So just type in bond exchange, US, and that will give you the platforms for them. But you'll get instructions to do that anyway, but that's okay. Yep.
This is from Susan L. I bought a few dinars and dongs a couple years ago on eBay. If they happen to be counterfeit, would I still be able to cash them in?
Okay. There's been much discussions at a round table regarding those. I can't see how they'll be fraudulent. A lot of the fraudulent ones weren't sold. If they were purchased through a reputable company, you should be fine. But yeah, things like the Zims, as I said, a lot of the citizens burnt theirs because they weren't valued in anything. Are they going to be treated just as commemorative notes? Again, take them along and see what happens. But again, these are the tough ones that we have to go through the motions. But I believe that 90% of them will be legit. So, yeah.
Really good. What are your thoughts on the Exodus app in terms of safety and security for XRP? Thanks for everything you do, Mill. Really appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Exodus, I don't actually have that wallet, but I believe it is safe and secure. Again, it depends on the functionalities. I know that Exodus is only used for IOTA as well. I think it's IOTA. Can be stored on Exodus. Again, it's functionality, but I will actually make a note of that one to go and have another look at it. I haven't looked at it for quite some time, but I will look into that and post that over in the digital assets channel. So, yeah, I'll get onto that.
What are the chances that Vietnam will RV before Iraq?
No, it all goes at the same time.
Yep. If stock market crashes, will your investment be mirrored like your assets or in the bank?
If it crashes, yes.
Okay.
But I don't think it's going to crash. But anyway, that's another story.
If a person gifted you currency, wouldn't they, as the purchaser, using their debit or credit card, actually get the credit for it on their QFS card, thereby rendering the gifted paper of no value to exchange it?
People are complicating it, aren't they? They certainly are complicating it.
We went over all this last week. They know everything, what you've done, where it's gone, who you gave it to, if that person is. So you don't have to worry about that stuff.
You don't have to worry about that. No, and a gift is a gift. And if you hold it, you own it. Simple as that. I mean, I get the emotion behind it because sometimes we've had splits of friendships. You know, the friend is no longer a friend. What if they come back after me and all of that kind of stuff? No. If it is gifted to you and you hold it and you own it, it's okay. It's going to be fine. Don't overthink this too much, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, thank you, Wildflower.
Yep. Recently, Trump released the UFO files. I keep seeing information saying it was released early now in May. Supposedly, it was to be released in July. Do you know if this is true, and are there any details about this subject and the reason why early release?
Beam me up, Scotty. Take me away. Again, I think this is just a slow disclosure. I think for the eyes to see, the ears to hear. Did he or didn't he? Again, I saw an article that was posted in, someone sent it to me from one of the gurus, and Trump's talking about this, that, and all the rest of it. And I go, you realise that's an AI video of Trump saying these things. Have we actually seen the evidence of that? As I said, for the eyes to see. If you go out every night and have a look, you might just find yourself a beam me up Scotty spaceship that just might be for you. That's what I'm going to say, because none of it can be substantial. It's like the Epstein files all over again. It's like, have they released it? Have they not? Da, 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 da. Yeah, for me, it's not, yeah. It's neither here nor there for me. I don't really believe that it was disclosed completely. I don't think anything's going to be disclosed, to be honest. So I think it's going to be, yeah. That could be our EBS too, you know. Who knows? Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
All right. Based on the zeros being removed on the Zim you discussed on your last chat, how many do you think will be removed on the Pango, which I understand will be considered a bond as well?
The quadrillion Pango, yes. Again, that's going to be dealt with differently. I know the ones with authenticity, and that will be done straight away. How many zeros come off that one? They're keeping it very tight-lipped with the Pango, but it is there and it will be treated as a bond. Just hold on to your hats and see what happens. But I think it's it's going to be reasonably healthy.
Mel,
for the bank.
Say which Pango was that? Say that again.
The Hungarian Pango, 1936-32.
Okay. Sorry, I was talking over. Can you say the year again?
Autumn.
Okay. Can you hear me all right now?
It's echoing through Autumn. Autumn, you'll have to mute yourself, darling.
Hold on, I'm gonna mute. All right, we're good.
There we go. That's
Okay.
it.
So can you repeat that year, 1936 to 42? Was that what it is for the Pango?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the Hungarian Pango. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. You have said silver certificates are redeemable, but are they giving us price of silver at time or 1 ounce of silver?
Good question. I think that's what I'm going to have to look into a little bit more. But I know that they're going to. They can be redeemed, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be digital silver that they redeem them. So you'll be given the equivalent to whatever the silver price is at that particular time, or whatever the set price is for the $1, one bill, and that you will be given the digital silver for that.
Okay. Again,
that's my understanding.
We'll have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see on that one.
Yep.
But I can't see how they're going to give you the physical, but they will definitely be some digital. Yeah. So.
Okay. Is it true most currencies can be checked with a black light?
Most currencies, yes.
Okay. This is a question. Why is the USA hosting the World Cup in California in June? Isn't this dangerous considering the state of the world? Then you have the wonderful fake virus thing, hantavirus, on the cruise ship and such. That was my putting in my little 2 cents there.
You put your 2 cents in there as well. Okay. Well, very interesting that we bring the FIFA World Cup. We always said, watch the World Cup, watch the football. And of course, soccer ball with Russia and DJT. And of course, my prediction, of course, we've said that I believe the US will beat Australia 1-0 in their match against each other as well, if it ever come to that. So why in California, for starters? And is California ready yet? Ooh, I've been there and I don't think it's quite ready. Although there is certain rail links in play and things like that as well. But why? Why California? Again, to be able to control the EBS, it has to be in the most nefarious state, I believe, in America, that being California. The FIFA World Cup, think of Lego. There's been some new Lego that's come out as well, and it's all connected to that. And the reason I say Lego is because of the movies that we've seen recently regarding the FIFA World Cup. And it's going to be, like I said, is that going to be where we see aliens fall from the sky, EBS, the whole stadium goes dark? Is it referring to California going dark, the splitting of California as a state? We talked about the Golden Gate this morning. So whatever those things are going to happen, why FIFA? Because it was one of those that was released. The FIFA World Cup is also the trophy. Let's look at the trophy. It's gold standard. Release the Kraken is going to be released there as well. Look at the sponsorship that is behind the FIFA World Cup in California. Does it actually happen? Or is this just going to be another movie? Like I said, it's connected to the Lego, and that's why I posted Lego about a month ago. And keep an eye on California. California is going to be one of those states that we flip the switch in California, east to west. That's my other thought as well. Just putting it out there.
All righty, thank you. If Mel has already went over something, like this question from TBJ02 about the birth certificates,
52 minutes.
She wasn't quite sure about all that stuff, so I'm not going to be asking questions for her to rehash that when she's already said she's not sure, and we'll just have to wait and see. All right. If my children have Boulevard Digitalis only, can they simply go to a bank to exchange when they can exchange it for them? Or can they exchange it for them? It's my understanding there is not a special rate on this currency. Anything special they need for this one currency?
As long as they're of age and they have a bank account, I can't see why not. And as long as the bank is willing to exchange it, because some banks don't exchange it. So there's a whole multitude of things there, because again, like I said, is the bank going to exchange it? That's your first thing that you ask. If they are, then they can take it. If they're of age and they hold a bank account, I'm assuming that they're reasonably much older children. So yeah, there's a multitude of things there. I don't really know how to answer that one.
Right.
So,
and God Bless America wanted to chime in when you were saying about Trump going to China, and they had said that Putin and Modi is supposed to meet with Trump, which, yes, I heard that too. They're supposed to be. Now, this is what IM had said also the other day on his Q&A, that they're meeting up to form an alliance, the three alliance. Now, that was Xi, Trump, and Putin. I didn't hear about Modi, but we've also heard that Elon's gone. There's like 12 or 14 other dignitaries and people that are going to be there. So something is going to be happening.
I think so.
Wait and see. Okay.
Just keep adding to the list of people that are going to that center of the world, and it is getting interesting.
Okay, this is from Snuffles. Hello, Mel. I hope you're well. Can you please elaborate on capital gain chart changes for Canada? Someone I know mentioned she heard you speaking about it on another video channel or podcast. Cannot find it again. I was hoping you could just point me to the relevant channel and I'll look it up. Infinite thanks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'll post that one. I've got a link for it.
All right,
I'll
thank
post
you.
it. Too easy.
Okay, Mel, do you think there's going to be a solar flash that affects our weather in the future? Do you think that the disease-carrying pests such as ticks and mosquitoes will go away? That was a question that was asked on IMs too, the same thing.
Yes, yeah, it is, definitely. Yep.
Any chance we know when the weather manipulation ends?
When you stop seeing it in the sky.
Oh, yeah. We a lot of this
I mean,
stuff
I'm
is
done with
just
it
going
too.
to be.
Yeah.
We don't have. None of us are the insiders. You know, we're guessing just as much as what you are, everybody. So, and they're not going to tell people. They're not going to tell any of us. So we're just going to have to sit back, drink a cup of coffee,
a lot of intel,
and just wait and see what happens, because there is stuff happening. If your eyes are open and not fixated on how much money you're going to get at the RV or whatever it is, you're missing so much stuff that is happening, going on. So try to think outside the shoebox just a little bit. Okay. Is there a link for the digital asset channel? That's your channel now.
Oh, yes, there is. And a link for that as well. Yes.
Alrighty.
Digital assets channel. Yep, you can do that as well.
So somebody said, I thought the 1946 Pango were what we were told to buy.
1946, yes. I think there's a 32, a 36, and 42, and a 46. So there's a few of them. There is a few of them. Yeah. So.
All right. Okay, so this is from Sparkling Rose. Mel, these are questions regarding projects, and I haven't got to look here to see if it's already what you've already asked. But please, can you clarify project funding? I was under the
Mhm.
impression that projects using RV funding had to be offered for free. Then I hear you saying projects need to be run as sustainable businesses. Maybe it is
Correct.
only, yeah. Maybe it is only RV funding for healing projects with med beds and animal healing chambers using advanced healing technologies that are to be offered for free. Again,
I was just using that one as an example.
yeah.
I was just using that as an example. Yeah, they've taken emotion and they grab emotions over this project thing. Again, let's go with this. As I said, next week we will do the generational wealth, and the week after we will do the projects, because I'll have some more stuff by that stage on the disbursement of project and funding, and you do have to treat it as a business, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gosh, you can throw money at something, and once you've given it away and it's not sustainable, then that company or that project is going to need some funding to maintain it. I don't know why people get hoo-ha about, oh, I didn't know I had to run a business. Well, that's because the gurus told you, oh, you have a project? Here, buy some Zim. And then they forget that it is actually run as a business. It is simple as that. You can go and ask Will Barney. You can go and ask any person in philanthropy. You can go and ask a wealth manager about running a project. They will all tell you it is run as a business. Do not be surmised that you're going to be this beautiful-hearted person that's going to receive all of this money and you can just give it all away. These projects need sustainability to maintain those projects, to maintain those, say, for instance, it was to home the veterans. They all need maintenance. So don't just go thinking you're going to throw money into these projects and not maintain those projects for those living in those homes. That's just an example. I'm not saying that it's just for animal shelters or just for med beds. I've seen many, many projects come across my desk, many different projects, but they all need to be, as I said, I combined 20 into 3 the other day because there were 20 different projects. They all overlapped, and I said, let's focus on 3 projects because they were all overlapping. And this is the reality, Wildflower, is that now it's come to crunch time. It's been a fairy tale of a ride that people have these beautiful hearts that want to just throw money. If you want to donate money, that's fine. That's entirely up to you. But a project is a project and it will be treated as a business. You can certainly make donations if that's what you so choose to. If you can't find yourself to run a project or you don't want to run a business, that's fine. We will then put that money and invest it into projects that you would like to have put together yourself, because there is many of them. There's many projects on the table, ladies and gentlemen. But this is my point. If you have the heart to understand that with great intentions, you need to sustain those projects. If it is a donation, that is a different kettle of fish. So this has come to crunch time now. We've been fed all the little baby steps. Yes, put a project together, darling. Put a project together. That's great. But people have not been around here to support you, ladies and gentlemen. They were here to sell you a Zim note, but they were not here to support you. So please understand that. There's a difference between donating to a project and sustaining a project. And a project is long-term. It is not short-term. Does that make sense, Wildflower?
Yeah, and if people are honest with themselves, most people went out there, created some project in their minds so they could go think they're going to get extra money because they have Zim bonds, because that's what they were told. Oh,
yep.
If you go out and get some Zim bonds, come up with a project, even though you have no idea how to manage a project, how to run a project, you have not the first clue. Don't worry about that.
just as long as you have Zim money, they'll give you more money. Well, that's a crock of poop. They're not going to give you more money because you have Zim. They're not going to do that. You're
Nope.
going to get what you have. They're not going to fund your projects. The projects are already running. If you want to create something and donate and give to somebody or do your own project out of your own money, that's a whole other ball game. But don't go in there and think, or wherever you're going to do, or just think, be honest with yourself. Yeah, I think I'm going to get more money because I have a project. And if that's the case, you're thinking about this all wrong. You're thinking about money.
That's it. Yep.
You can't do that. And if you're thinking that way, where is your level of frequency at? You just ask yourself this. I'm not judging anybody. I'm just putting it out there. We were just told a lot of bull crap to go buy Zim to benefit those people who were selling the Zim, thinking you're going to get all this extra money. I think there was 3 different payouts for Zim that we were told. None of that is true. None of that is true. So just putting it out there, you have to rethink things. And just because it was said 8 years ago, a lot of stuff is different now. And if you don't have a clue about running a project, don't. And you're probably not even going to be allowed to, because they're not going to waste money. This is what happened to our world. People threw money down the toilet. I don't think that's going to be allowed anymore. I don't think so. So if you that's the reason why you have a project, you're not going to get money. So you might want to think about not having a project and just helping your family, helping your friends, doing good things. But running a project, running a business is a lot of work. A lot of work. Just saying.
Just saying. Absolutely. And, these are the tough things that we need to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. It's not directed at you. I do not want people to jump over a cliff because their heart was set on this. We're here to guide you. We are here to guide you through this. And there's simple solutions to all of that as well. So, but yeah.
And I'm more direct, and Mel is more loving and kind. But it does make us angry that these people have been telling all these people all these years, and they knew it wasn't true. They knew it.
They did know it. Yeah.
And some of them will say, well, they were doing it because the white hats asked them to do that. You know what?
Bullshit.
I don't think that for 1 minute. I don't buy that. I don't buy that. They chose to do that. And maybe I'm completely wrong. But what would be the psyop? Why? Ripping the rug out from people is a good thing. Breaking their spirit, taking their hope away, that's a good thing? I don't think so. And I don't really think the good people with the Alliance and the White Hats would ever do that to people. So that's my 2 thoughts there. Okay.
Absolutely. And we appreciate your thoughts. As I said, we do have to, like I said, it's come to crunch time, ladies and gentlemen. It's not to take away what you've done or what you've dreamed of, but we are going to navigate through this in the next coming weeks, I can assure you. And it's going to be done properly. It's going to be used with logic, the tools that you need to use as well. Because as Wildflower did say, and this is the truth, ladies and gentlemen, and it still astounds me today, that there's more of us, and I've met people on the street who are still fighting the fight on the streets, and yet we have these gurus that are just pumping in the money, just pumping it in from all of you. They're living a high life, and there's a lot of us who are not. And it never ceases to amaze me, Wildflower, that it is a bloody tough gig. I do more for nothing than any of those gurus put together. And it's like, it astounds me what they have taken from people when they didn't have to take it. You didn't have to have a trust account and this, that, and all the rest of it. So that is the reality, ladies and gentlemen. You can go back and you can go and ask them, where's their validation? Where's the validation on the med beds? Where's the validation of these 4A, 4B, and 5? Ask them, and they'll tell you now. They'll tell you now. Now, Wildflower and I know for a fact, for many, many years, Mel has been pushing the narrative and said it's all bullshit. And in it, they have now had to do a full circle. And the only reason they're probably saying about Mel now is because you guys are pushing the narrative regarding the bonds and the Zim bonds. And I'm proud of everyone who is doing that, because you're putting pressure on these gurus. They have no reason other than to agree with me, because they've got nowhere to go. And they were waiting for me to do it for them because they didn't have a bloody clue. That's the truth, Wildflower. But that's my 2-minute rant on that. But anyway, it frustrates me too, girlfriend. It frustrates me to no end, you know. What did I have? I went in to buy me a coffee, $8.47 today. That's it. You know, this is my point. This is my point. And it's like, whoop-de-doo-dah. But I'll still do this, and I'll do it every single day for nothing, Wildflower. But I get nothing, absolutely nothing. And it's like, I don't beg, I don't ask, I don't sell anything. I do this for nothing. So put the pressure on those gurus that are making tons of money out of this, and rip into them, ladies and gentlemen, because I tell you what, I really want to too. So, but they're little
we have
buggers.
a couple more questions here on the wall, and then we'll go back to the live question. No, you need to vent. You need to, because this is what we appreciate, you being truthful and being, real. So thank you for that.
That's all right, Dom. Too easy.
This is about going to your exchange and your appointment. Mel talked about that last week. There isn't going to be an email or a phone call. And, she went over, there isn't about redemption centers. You're not going to go somewhere to redeem your money. It's just going to automatically be there in your account. How that all happens, we don't know all the little details. We just know you're probably not going to go to any redemption center. If they're going to put everything else in your QFS account, why can't they? They know what you bought. They know all of that. They know who has it. They know what amounts. I'm sure that's just going to show up too. If it's not, they'll tell you. However it's going to happen, nobody knows for sure. And if somebody's telling you they know, they're not telling you the truth when it comes to the little details. But we've talked about this, that we don't think there's going to be a phone number or an email or even a place that you have to go. It's just going to automatically. And your QFS account, that's going to be your trust. You're the only one that can get into that. You don't need a trust. Anyhow, I'll keep going on.
Oh, Dos. Yep.
So this person wants to know, will two-year and 4-year colleges close like K through 12?
Possibly. Again, I think it's going to be a slow transition, but I do believe so. Yes.
Okay. And somebody said here, and don't they want us to provide jobs for people too? My thought, and I'm going to say this, and now you can please, I think we went over this. The jobs that are going to be out there, the people that are going to be working are going to be the young kids and that. Us old folks like me and whoever out there is retirement age and older, we've already did our time. We can enjoy life. If you want to work, fine. You're not going to have to. But the people that are younger, there's lots of humanitarian projects already going, already up and running, all over the world. That's where the people will go get their jobs at. We don't have to provide jobs for people. There's many jobs waiting for everybody in all fields.
And there is. I mean, we've got to reconstruct countries such as Beirut and all of those things. This is why Australia needs to, we've got so many roads. I think it's about 87,000 square kilometres of roads that need to be built. So we brought over some people from India, and of course Australians are going, oh, now India's taking over our country. No, because we haven't got enough people in Australia to build these roads. So we're actually deploying people from all different countries. That's going to happen in many countries. And you've only got to look at the population in India, and that's why we chose India. And that was through a program through ANZ Bank here in Australia. So we'll be utilising those coming across from India. So again, like I said, there's many projects. There's many things that need to be rebuilt and built. It's going to be endless how many jobs are going to be available. And people are going to be working in things that they want to work in as well. So we're all going to be loving working. And I'm not going to do any physical stuff, because by the time I go around skating with Divinely Made, I may have to have new knees and that by that stage, because it's a long way to fall. When you're 6'2" and a bit, it's a long fall, I can tell you. But it's certainly going to be the job situation we've always pondered over, but we certainly need to be wary that there is many young children who are just so passionate about animals and this, that, and all the rest of it, or they're passionate about art. Come and fill up my walls. They're very plain. So, paint away, knock yourselves out. But that's all part of humanitarian. So, and building playgrounds, safe playgrounds for children and things like that as well. That's always been a thing over in Thailand. We always look down the road, and instead of having the children play on the road, let's give them a nice park area to play safely in as well. So there's many things, many things.
And it's so hard for us to not think the way we've been programmed for so long.
Oh, 100%.
So, we tend to, why wouldn't we think in a 3D mindset? Well, where we're going is a lot higher density, a lot higher consciousness. Well, it's hard for us to think that way when we've not been trained. We don't know. So when you've been trained all your life from the time you're 16 to get a job, you got to support yourself. You got to go to college and get a good degree. And we have to unprogram ourselves, unprogram everything that we've thought of. And people think, well, how do we do that? Well, something was said, and it sparked my antenna, that maybe this could be a possibility, that when the blockchain goes live, I'm saying this right, the QFS, whatever, maybe our whole world changes. Maybe we change how we think. Maybe there'll be something. I always say, wouldn't it be nice if they just sprinkle angel dust in the air, like to do chemtrails, and just wake us all up, and we think completely different, and it's like, oh,
it's possible.
How lovely things. I don't know. That's a fairy tale, but maybe it ain't so much a fairy tale anymore. Think of the craziest things that you used to think were like crazy and whacked out. Well, they're not so whacked out anymore, those thoughts. So
100%,
our way of thinking is going to change completely, but we don't know what that looks like. So just dream big. Don't dream little, dream big is what I always say. Okay.
Yeah, the magic of thinking big. So, fantastic. Yeah, it's true. Hey, Patty Cake, I just saw you. But yeah, look at it.
Mel?
Yes.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
We have a few more on the wall, so if you can just hang on, then we'll get right back to you.
Sure.
Back to you.
Thank you.
I'm muted by the sounds of that.
The blue button, people. How will you exchange digital funds be divided into two QFS accounts if this is their preference within a married couple? Well, I think we all are separate individuals, no matter if you're married or not.
Yeah, you're separate. and then you can set up the joint account like you normally would, but everything is separate in the QFS stuff. Yes. Yep.
Okay, I hear you about no trust needed. QFS is trust. My assumption was when buying a house, it would be put in a trust to hide, protect your name. If QFS is trust, do we need the QFS? Do we name the QFS? Just trying to figure out if that is even a possibility to put the house into something which does not have our name on it. Well, sounds like the QFS isn't out there yet. So if you're buying a house now, you have to do what now is, what the world
do
is
with it now. But yes, yeah. So yeah. Again, be wary of the type of trust that you have. That's all I'm saying, and so that it can, when you're distributing intergenerational wealth, trust can be very, very complex when transferring that wealth to generations. So again, like I said, there's always ways around it, of course, but we were just making a comment. It's not specifically concrete as in that particular question. So I know where they were going with that. Yeah, that's all good. Yeah, I could see, I could feel the emotion in some of these questions, but anyway, yes.
And it's like, it's fear. It's
It is
don't
fear.
be afraid. Be excited. Just because you don't have an answer to a question, or Mel doesn't have an answer, that's nothing to get upset about. That's like you're going into new territory. All of us are. This has never happened before in any of us that are alive, and even before. Be excited. Just because you don't know where the path is going because you can't see it clearly, that's nothing to be afraid about. To me, that's exciting. So, because they have us. They're not going to let anything happen to us. That's the whole purpose of all of this.
100%.
One thing here on the wall. In the UK, I heard you say something before about VND, and it made me question if we were able to exchange dong in the UK, or would it be pegged to something else? What's your thoughts, please? Thank you very much.
Oh, someone did verify that one with me the other day. Apparently they can. They do have VND now on their exchanges. At one point it wasn't, but someone did message me the other day. It's the Iraqi dinar that they don't have, which is common, but apparently VND will be exchanged in the UK. So you're safe. Everything's happy days. Yes, it's Iraqi dinar. So someone did message me about that. So thank you for the UK supporters. We love you. We love you. We love you. You're never forgotten. The UK and Canada, they always seem to feel as though that they're all left out, but they're not. So, but anyway, same with New Zealand. New Zealand feel that too. So, but anyway,
I'm just going to. Why not? Which he always asks a question, and I know I said this would not be anymore, but just so that we can clarify this. So we're thinking we're not going to go to any redemption centers and not getting any 800 numbers, and all these funds are already in our QFS accounts. How are we going to get our QFS account? That is a good question.
Happening.
Okay.
Coming in.
Beautiful. Okay, so why not? You know how much we love you. You're something very, very special, and you're certainly thinking outside the box. So what happens there is that everything, and this is why the digital KYC, or know your customer, is so important.
Yep, everything good.
I'm going to throw a couple of things in here. So to tidy it all up, is that I believe here in Australia, they, especially those who are a little bit vulnerable or don't have the digital technology of that, such as a phone app and things like that as well. My understanding is that they have all been notified to make sure that they're updated their phone, their address, their email address, and these weren't scams that were sent to them. This is coming directly from the actual banks. It's probably a good idea, an exercise for everyone to actually go and do as well. Make sure that everything is up to date. So why not? Let's go there. Everything that is attached, again, when you identified yourself at the bank, of course, you took all your ID and that with you. So your identity, that being regardless of whether it's Social Security in the United States or a birth certificate here in Australia, you were identified. All the above was already mirrored into a quantum account way back in, they started, I think, in 2010, 2011, but by 2012, everything was mirrored. So whatever your account is now, it wasn't so much your account, but an account was created for you based upon the KYC, the identity of you. So once you were identified, and this is that parallel struggle that a lot of people have with the digital ID. When you understand that the digital ID is to protect you, not to go against you, it is for your protection to identify yourself that you are receiving those quantum funds in your quantum account. The account was, as I said, was mirrored from what you have already got based upon the KYC that you have. So that has been implemented, as I said, I know for a fact, through one of the major banks here in Australia. I spoke to a lady who has been a part of that since before 2012, but 2012, as my understanding, is when they started implementing the quantum accounts. And it was based upon, this is why it's so important to understand, fear not. Why not? Fear not that you will need to have your, know your customer, have your ID ready, and this, that, and all the rest of it, just so that you can identify. This is what we're seeing now, is that, of course, when any kind of money movement has been blocked from your account, is because you need to physically go in and identify yourself. Because of this transition of transferring over to the quantum system, the banks are stipulating that you need to identify yourself. And that's actually a good thing. It's to protect your money, it's your identity, and it is depegged from the government system. So the new IDs that are coming out are actually depegged from the governments per se, and all of those other nefarious departments, such as your Department of Transport and this, that, and all the rest of it. You will give your own identity, and they will not hold it. So they don't hold your identity. This is the identity. It's called KYC, know your customer. And if that's been verified, your account has already been nullified with your name and your identity. So that's how that is all being done. It was all done through quantum. So that account has already been in place since 2012. So you will receive that. And I believe some people, especially pensioners, have actually seen accounts and they go, I didn't open up that account. And it wasn't because they're old, they actually saw that account. Although it says zero balance, I believe that is your quantum account that they are starting to see coming through, because of course the elderly, the care, the pensioners, and of course your veterans will be paid out very, very quickly. So there you go. So that's where we're at with all of that. So I hope that answers the question, why not? But if not, we can chat some more. I'm going to be back in here later in the week to have our regular chats with the group. So I'll be back. But
who was up next?
New Earth was first, and then we'll go to Erica G and SC, and then we'll be just about pretty much done. Bridget, we'll have to wait just a moment. New Earth, if you're still there, would you like to ask your question?
Yes.
Okay, Bridget, go for it. New Earth, it must have slipped out.
So have you heard anything about Social Security? I was saying that he was expecting it this month to be the increase. What have you heard? Thank you.
Yes, there will be an increase, and I've seen it in the system, so it should be, yeah. So it possibly, look, there is an increase coming. It doesn't have a date stamp next to it. So does it come out on the 31st of May? Oh, I hope it's around about the 14th, 15th. There is a slight increase. Are they going to do it gradually? But I know that there is an increase in the system.
Martin,
That I
is
can
this your
tell you,
first
Bridget.
time in chat?
There is an increase
Nice
in
to
the
meet you. Just
system.
be
Thank you
respectful.
so
Thank you.
much. Have a good night. Love you.
You too. Love you too, girl. Love you. So, what a beautiful name, Bridget. It's like a bridge, isn't it? Come together
Yeah,
as a
I'm named
bridge.
after Bridget Bardot.
Oh, there you go. So there you go. So, but then that's beautiful. Love that name. Geez, if I ever get the chance to have another daughter, I think I'll be calling her Bridget. It's just beautiful. Erica G, did you want to say hello, darling?
Yes,
I
Melissa,
saw
thank you.
you. That's okay, love. How are
Thank
you?
you very much. I'm good. Thank you very much. Yes. I was just hearing what you were saying before about this verification for our ID and stuff. I actually, because I'm on Centrelink as well, I actually received a call from them, and they asked me to get on to the website. I had to log into my own, so it wasn't just out of the blue. And they wanted to verify who I was, what my name was, do I use any other name, am I a citizen? So there was only a few questions, but they needed to verify all of those things. And I just thought, well, I may as well go ahead and do all that. And did I have any other bank accounts, basically, and that was it. So I'm guessing that that's all part of it. That was 4 weeks ago. And they said it had to be done by the 21st of last month or this month.
Yep.
Not sure. So I thought I'd just do it straight away. 21st of May had to be done by.
Yes.
Anyway.
It was the 21st of May. Yes. And thank you very much, Erica G, for sharing that bit of personal information. And it is true, darling, because why were they asking you that when you've been probably getting Social Security for some time? Is because they are losing, and this happened in the banks as well, they are actually losing their ability to track you, so to speak. And it is a good thing. It is not a bad thing. It's interesting that they also asked you, are you known by any other names? And again, this comes back to the whole straw man as well, Erica G, is that, so say, for instance, you were married before, or you were, different name on your birth certificate. I have. It's crazy. But anyway, so thank you, Erica, for doing that. Truly appreciate you and admire your courage, because it does take a bit of courage to fear against the system that we were trying to fight against at the same time. So I hear you, sweetheart. Really, really do. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
Beautiful. Peter, how are you?
Hello.
Hello. He's an Aussie boy.
How you going?
I'm great.
Just talking about that back episode, I got a call last year and had to go down, and I said, what happens if I don't? She said, we'll freeze your account.
Yes.
So they were going to, so we went down and fixed all that up last year. And
Good.
now this QFS account is run through the blockchain, right?
Yes, it is. Yep.
And the banks are not through the blockchain?
Nope.
So
separate. They're utilising it. Hold on a second, Peter. They are utilising the bank system, or they have to get to use it. But the quantum is completely separate. It runs parallel at the moment, but it is separate. So
and
keep going.
And they're decentralised.
They are decentralised. It used to be centralised.
Yeah.
And that was the problem that we had. Because it was centralised, it's centralised banking. It's now decentralised.
Yeah, because I don't trust the government with anything.
Nor do I. That's why I do what I do.
That's good. That's all I want to know.
Well, don't you worry, Peter. I was one of those lovely people who was down there in the marches and face to face with the police officers and the governments and the government buildings. So don't you worry, Peter. I was one of those very strong advocates of sovereignty, and I had to look at this from a different perspective, because what I was seeing and what they were telling us were two different things. So I started this journey, Peter, many years ago on Facebook, and I was fighting the exact same fight that you're talking about, Sunshine. Do I like the government? No. I lost a very important position because I refused to work for the CSIRO in a very important position in Western Australia. So I refused to work for them as well. So, but again, I had to do a sideward step and reevaluate, and I can tell you now I'm looking forward to possibly being part of the new governance moving forward. So watch this space, my dear man. You never know where I might
we actually done the same thing. We spent 3 months every weekend going down the rallies in Canberra. And I can't wait for this shit to go down.
Oh, absolutely. Well, make sure you pop in and say hello if I'm ever down that way, Peter. And we can definitely catch up for a good old drink. And we'll definitely be sitting back and having a good laugh about this. And then I'll be able to tell you what else I can do in the background. But looking forward.
We're in the Hunter Valley.
Beautiful. Even better again. That's the best place to go driving around the Hunter Valley. So we will do that. There's plenty of good pubs around there. Plenty of wine
down here too.
Absolutely.
Oh, no, thanks a lot.
For sure. No worries, Peter. And it's always great to end the show with an Aussie. So thank you very much, Peter. We'll catch you very, very soon. Thanks, brother in arms. So, but Wildflower, what's happening? We got any more questions on the board and we want to finish off, or?
Let me go look.
Geez, I'm making you work today, girl.
I think we're good.
We're good to go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, hello. Oh, Porhub. Yes, let's do say hello to Porhub. So the beautiful
Hi,
Paul.
how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, sweetheart. You're the lucky last.
Yeah, I'm still awake at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, we appreciate you as always. It's always fascinating when you're with Mel. You never know where it's going to go.
True. I have 2 questions. One, what happens to the people who have been unjustly dealt with by the system? Those who are outside, some of the people who are in hospitals, even mental hospitals, due to no fault of their own, what happens to them? Do they fall out of the system?
Oh, definitely not. No, definitely not, love. This is why we still have these parallel systems running, sweetie, so that no one slips through the cracks. They don't get forgotten. As I said, those who are sick and elderly, the veterans, the disabled, and all of those people, as I said before, sweetie, they will be dealt with immediately. So they do not get forgotten at all. The mental health, as I said, there is programs. I've seen the programs myself. They are going to be very, very well looked after. It's also those who have been imprisoned, and that as well. We mustn't forget those who basically put themselves in the system, do some small things that are wrong. Obviously, they are wrong because they're in jail. But we also need to understand too that is caused due to mental illness and that. And our systems, when it comes to mental health, are very, very piss poor, to say the least. They really, truly are. And this is why we are where we are. And believe you me, sweetheart, they will not fall through the system. They are going to be taken care of.
Okay, I'm dealing with a very totalitarian government here. So I'm trying to wrap my mind around how this is going to be possible. Second question, in reference to, I've posed this question before, but I'll reframe it. The same information that you've given regarding the QFS and the mirroring of everything, does this apply also to Americans not living in their own country and banks that are not tier 1 banks?
Yes, yes. The tier 1 banks, they all fall under the same banner. Let's go back to what Mountaintop and that was saying before. They have one Wells Fargo bank in that state, and it's just so happens to be a wealth management bank. Okay. But they they utilize the name of Wells Fargo. That ties them to the tier 1 bank. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes, but this bank that I'm at is not Wells Fargo. It's just the community
just using that
bank.
as an example. It's a community bank, a credit union. If you were to go in,
not a credit union. I'm sorry, it's not a credit union. It's just
community bank.
It's just a bank, but I don't know the word in English for it. But they are. I'm sorry, I don't know the word in English. I'm American, but I still don't know the word in English.
No, that's okay. I think I know what you're trying to explain. So they are a bank. They have a bank license. Now, you can have bank licenses, but they will be affiliated. Okay, this is what I'm saying. They will be affiliated to a tier 1 bank to have a banking license.
Okay.
Now, if they are operating, you need to type in the bank's name. Okay, this is a great exercise for many people. So you type in the bank's name, and you see, and you will type in Basel, BASEL, and that will give you the information that they are compliant, and that gives you the compliancy that they are part of the quantum system. So if they are compliant to Basel III, it means they are linked to a tier 1 bank and they are perfectly fine. If they're still operating, they would have to be honest. So they have to be Basel III compliant.
This is something that I have questioned constantly by the bank, but I think I was not speaking to someone who was competent enough to answer. They admitted that they have no idea about Basel III or QFS or anything else. They did not know.
They generally don't. That's why I'm saying go on to the internet and do your own research, because most people that work at the banks won't know. But if you Google it, put it in and then put Basel III, you don't have to put quantum system in there, just Basel III, and because that's one of the compliance, and you should be perfectly happy with that.
Right. The you spoke a lot about the Zim. I came in pretty much toward the end.
Yes.
Will the Zim notes be paid out 1-to-1?
Nope.
And no, okay. They're taking some of the zeros off or something?
That's correct. Yep.
Do we know how many? I mean, do you know how many?
Nope.
Okay.
If you go back to if you go back to last week's show and go over that one again, I explained it in depth then, darling. So yeah, I explained it in depth.
Siciliano?
No, with this one here.
Okay.
From Humanitarian 2. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
So go back, and if you go up to the pinned section, up in the pin, and you just go through the pinned messages, you'll find the one from last week through Humanitarian 2, and I discussed it all in there, darling. The only reason I'm pushing this through, darling, is because I need to go. I have an appointment in 20 minutes. I've got another call.
Absolutely no problem. Thank you so very much for answering.
My
and
pleasure.
I will look at the pinned messages and take a listen.
Sure. Yep. And otherwise, yeah, you can private message me otherwise. Okay?
Okay.
So
thank you so very much.
My
we appreciate so much that you're doing for us all.
Thank you very much, darling. Appreciate you. Yes, love.
You know why I think what she was trying to ask, and I've had other people ask this. We were told at the beginning that in order to receive your funds, your money, you had to go back to your country.
Oh, that's what she was asking. Okay, no, you don't have to go back to your country. It's all done digitally.
Yeah. So I think that's what I think.
She was
Because we've heard
referring
that
to.
many
Yeah.
times. You have to go back to your country to get your money. So
Yeah, no.
now, whether that was RV or Gasara, there is no money Gasara. When the RV happens, that's
It
when
is
all the
already-
money's going to be in the
money
QFS
goes through.
account. So things have
Absolutely.
changed. That's another thing that's changed since the beginning.
Yep,
So,
absolutely.
okay.
Digital. So very well. Thank you so much for that support mechanism there. My goodness, I love you to.
Okay, you guys. Wow. Spies, that was another good one, huh? We made it through one of the big videos not today. I'm going to do the short ones for about a half hour to 4:30, then come back at 7 with round 2. I got a Nick Shirley video too for later. So, did you guys hear about last night?
In an absolute shocker, a Chinese lady has been found guilty of being Chinese and working for the Communist Party. She also should be found guilty of a criminal level of catfishing using a filter that does that to her face. This should be illegal. This is like steroids for women. No, sorry, lady. I don't know what kind of AIs they got in China. I don't know what kind of like TikTok, voodoo, Chinese witchcraft, dragon level you got going on here, but that ain't you, okay? That ain't that. Okay, that's more like it. And then there you go, pixelated. Either way, it's all wrong. All of this is extremely wrong. And now Mayor Elaine Wang admits acting as Chinese spy, running fake news website with the ex-lover in shocking plea deal. Oh, cool. Okay. Got it. Of course, she was a mayor in California, obviously, right? Yeah. California mayor admitted to acting as an illegal spy. Has she admitted to banging Eric Swalwell? I don't know. I haven't asked her yet. She's facing 10 years in prison, though. She's resigned her position. Shocking federal plea deal. Elaine Wang did something wrong. She agreed with prosecutors that she's going to work. She was working with the People's Republic of China to boost a propaganda fake news website in the U.S. Between 2020 and 2022, she was elected to the City Council of Arcadia City in San Gabriel Valley within the L.A. County of Classic in November 2022. Wang, who's 58, worked with her fiance, Yao Yang Mike Sun. I love that. I love the Mike thrown in there. Thank you, Mike. We'll just call him Big Mike. A little Mike, because he's Chinese. On the website called U.S. News Center, which claimed the news source for Chinese Americans. But in reality, the pair were carrying out Beijing's orders through the site. Wang and Sun executed directives from the Chinese government, posting propaganda designed to boost China, all while reporting back to their masters screenshots showing how many people viewed their stories. Okay, great. In one case, Wang's spy master ordered her to post pre-written news articles, including People's Republic of China Communist Party official written essay in the Los Angeles Times. There is no genocide. In Xinjiang, that's right, there's no forced labor camp. Wang complied. So did Disney, by the way. Complied with their hand. Remember when Disney made Mulan and they forced it, they filmed it next to the concentration camps? They're like, it's Disney. It's so exciting. It's a childhood tale of fantasy and concentration camps. That's right. It's female empowerment plus putting Muslims in concentration camps. Disney. Ding. Wang complied, and her handlers wrote back, so fast. Thank you, everyone. In another case, Wang's communist boss commented on her page views that received a certain piece of propaganda. Wang wrote back, thank you, reader. Great. Great job for all of you. But it is Wang's use of AI filters that truly, again, is criminal here. Catch all the Chinese spies. Communists have infiltrated California, and she is a full-time CCP agent.
Illegal agent of China. Eileen Wang has agreed to plead guilty, according to officials. Matt Finn has more. He's live in LA. Matt?
Sandra, the feds say that mayor here in California operated a bogus website that pretended to be a news source for the Chinese American community, but instead promoted propaganda on behalf of China. The federal plea agreement says Eileen Wang took directives from the People's Republic of China on what to post on the fake website between 2020.
Look at the difference in the photos. That's right. I just can't. Filters are steroids for women.
To post on the fake website between.
Again, she should be charged for that. Here's Cash Patel. So on Fox News, they were pronouncing it Wong. So I'm just going to go with that. So Mayor Wong in California has been charged with acting as an illegal agent for the commies in China. Wong admitted to acting as a foreign agent and promoting the communist propaganda. On her website, she agreed to resign from office. The FBI and her federal prosecutors continue to move aggressively to root out this kind of influence. Good for you. Good job. There you go. All Americans should be alarmed to learn the elected official was brazenly spreading propaganda on behalf of the Chinese government. The FBI is dedicated to rooting out those illegally acting as agents of foreign governments, and I want them to do that for everyone. Israel, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Ukraine, Pfizer, Moderna, all of it. You should all be rooted out. All of it should be illegal. I want full disclosures of people that are acting on behalf of foreign governments. It should all be illegal. Everyone should have to register as a foreign agent. Arcadia mayor, federally charged. Here it is, on the DOJ website. Good for you. She faces 10 years in prison, which would be awesome. It'd be really nice. They have a really strong prosecutorial record here. It'd be beautiful to see. Elaine Wong has been charged. Good. She appeared in federal court. She was crying. She signed a plead guilty agreement. She resigned from office, and she faces a statutory maximum sentence of 10 years in prison. Oh, there it is. Got the AI. Again, I'm just going to do it one more time. Okay, there you go. This is what. Don't believe everything you see on TikTok, kids. Okay, don't believe everything you see on TikTok. This is what Eric Swalwell sees right before he gets a campaign donation, and this is what he sees the next morning. Good job. Ka-ching. Okay. Former Arcadia mayor is resigned. Here she is resigning. Fox LA confronted Wong outside of her home.
On camera. Is there anything you want to say to your constituents? Eileen Wang, now accused by federal prosecutors of secretly acting for the Chinese government.
Honestly, we are not aware of what her connections in China and the extent of them would be.
Wang quietly resigning Monday, sending this letter to city leaders, calling the decision personal in nature while never mentioning the explosive federal case.
Essentially, it means she worked in the United States for another government, for its officials.
According to prosecutors, Wang worked with Chinese officials from 2020 to 2022, pushing pro-China messaging through a community.
Nice. More of this. Stop using this image, though. That should be illegal. I'm sorry. I'll stop. Stop. Okay. This is what it looks like. This is what your Uber Eats order looks like on the app, and this is what it looks like when it arrives. Good. Good. What I love is that this is right in time for Trump's trip to China. Oh, wow. What a lovely campaign ad. So smart. So many great points. Boy, the melting pot thing really worked out for us, didn't it? Really, really, this is what an American political ad, a victorious American political ad looks like for a big city in California. Melting pot's a great idea. Yeah, definitely smart. Definitely smart to bring every third world scammer culture on earth here. Goodness gracious. Chinese spies working for Dianne Feinstein. Obviously, the famous bang, 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 bang. Ex-New York governor, secret Chinese spy. You just assume that the Chinese spies are now just assume that Chinese spies are running the entire Democrat Party at this point. I'm a Stanford student. A Chinese spy tried to recruit me to become a spy for China. Well, it's probably the only thing you'd be recruited for. Chinese national voted in the election in Michigan. I wonder how many times that happens. And guess what? The vote counted. No takesies, backsies. It's amazing. It's almost like that's the plan here all along. That's why we have to stop them. And we go stop them together on this channel. It's your boy Betty. See you.
Okay, you guys, I'm going to call it for now. I'm going to rest up. Hopefully we can go 3 hours tonight from 7 to 10. And tomorrow I got to go do the thing. I'm not sure what time I'll be going shopping, so might be a late one tomorrow. So I'm not sure when I'll be on, but see how tomorrow goes. And then we'll have another big show tonight. Thanks, Fine Go. And I think everybody's busy today. I think they were all listening because they were working on the first show. So I think Carol and Tim was in here. So everybody have a good dinner tonight. Come back for the second show. A lot of good stuff out there today. A lot of things are happening. Like what Mel was saying, they're putting out markers again. So see what things go. We got a lot of good stuff tonight. So see you after dinner time. God bless. Please hit the like. Stay safe, stay strong, keep the faith. There we go up. And signing off for show number 1 for Taco Tuesday. Chico Dude. We'll see you around 7.